Hello everyone, I want to welcome you all to lesson one, Worthy Ideal. So this webinar is the first lesson in the Thinking Results program. Before I get into it, I just want to make sure you all can hear me. So if you can just, for those of you that can, if you just click the hand button, just raise your hand just so I know that I'm not speaking to myself and that you guys can hear me. Yep, good, I can see one hand's coming up, so I know that's all good. All right, so like I said, welcome. What I'd like you to do today is, if you'd like to interact at all, you can either A, raise your hand, and I can unmute you, and you can just speak with me or the group, with any questions or comments. Or the other alternative is you can just type your question or comment into the chat box, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Okay. Now, I encourage you to have a pen and notepad ready. Okay, to jot down any notes, but we are going to also do some exercises to get you really thinking from the place that you should be thinking from. Okay, so a pen and notepad will be very handy for you at this point in time. So if you need to get that now. All right. Well, this is exciting. I love lesson one purely because this is really a time where you really tap into your imagination, okay, and you get to really fantasize, and this is what this whole program is about, is to make your fantasy become reality, okay? So today we're going to really tap into your imagination, and really I want to stretch you and get you to go after something that you really want. So let's get started. If you can just put down your hand if you've got it up. Hang on a sec, maybe I can lower it for you. There we go, and just put it up again if you need it. Hi Ray, how are you going? All right, so Earl Nightingale said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, this is success in any area of your life. Okay, if it's health, finances, your business, relationships, success in general is the progressive realization of worthy ideal. Now, this is the best definition that I've come across. Okay, and I heard it from Bob first, and I've heard Earl Nightingale mention it a few times. Now, this is so good because anyone that is actively pursuing something that they really want is successful. And when you can really accept this idea, okay, you will start to feel successful. It's not when you reach a certain destination that you're successful. It's the progressive realization of this worthy ideal that you're working towards. So as long as you're progressively working towards it, you are already successful. Okay? And when you can start feeling successful, you'll start attracting more success in your life. Okay? So just write this one down and keep this somewhere where you can see it often. Okay? Throughout this journey, at least over the next 6 months. Now, this first lesson is all about setting and achieving worthy goals. Okay, you're going to learn about big goals. Okay, I think generally there's a term that I hear quite often when it comes to goals, and that's SMART goals and setting goals that you know you can achieve. This is completely opposite to that. We're going to really be getting you to think about goals that you really want. Okay, goals that really inspire you, goals that will just run around your mind just before you go to sleep at night, and they're there for you again, ready to fire up your engines every morning when you wake up. Now, this first lesson is going to really inspire you to take your mind to a brand new place and really help you to expand your vision of your goal. Now, you might already have a goal that you're working towards, okay? But you may have been going after it for a little while. Maybe it's not even the right goal. This is going to get you to have a clearly defined goal, okay? And the more clear your goal is, the more clearly defined it is, the more easy it's going to be accepted in your subconscious mind. Okay, your beliefs will start matching it, and you'll move towards it a lot quicker. Okay, so this is one of the rules to be a clearly defined goal. All right, so if you've already been through the program once before, if you've already done this lesson before, don't worry. We want to make it clearer. You know, it's been a little while for me that I've had this goal. Even over the last few years, my goal continues to evolve. But I'm still gaining clarity of my goal. Okay, and it's getting clearer and clearer. The more I keep writing it and doing things like this, you know, thinking results, lessons, and actively thinking about my goal, the more clear it gets, and the more I course correct it. The goal is still the same, but there's just minor tweaks to it, so it's really important. Now, the purpose of a goal is to grow. Okay, the whole purpose of a goal is to grow. Okay, it's not what you get when you achieve the goal, but it's the person you become in the process of achieving that goal. Okay, so the purpose of a goal is to really, it's designed to draw out something from you that you didn't even know was there. Okay, there is actually perfection within you. There's perfection within every single one of us, and there's something within you that is always wanting to seek fuller expression. Okay, whether it's an idea in you that you just really want to, express. So most people push that down. Okay, they suppress those ideas. A feeling just wants to be expressed, and they suppress it. Okay, you want to be able to release that. You want to be able to express that idea, express that fantasy. It's your spirit seeking expression. If you want to run faster, that's your spirit wanting to grow. You want to express itself more. If you want to make more sales, or if you want to earn more money, if you want a bigger home, that is something within you that's wanting to be expressed. Okay, that is the whole purpose of the goal. But it's to find out what it is that you really want, and it's to get clear on that, write it down, and make it your goal. Okay. Now, goals in this program are broken up into 3 categories. Okay, 3 categories, and it's really simple. An A-type goal is going after something that you know you can do. You know how to do it. You've already done it. Okay, there is no growth there. There's absolutely no growth there. Now, a lot of people are constantly setting A-type goals. As ridiculous to me as it sounds, it's not ridiculous to most people. They just keep doing what they already know how to do. Okay, when they break free of that A-type goal and they think they get an idea outside of anything that they've ever done before, they're usually setting B-type goals, and the B-type goal is going after what you think you can do. So that is really based on your current conditions, circumstances. You think, okay, if I was to formulate a plan, if I was to do this and this, then I should be able to achieve this. And most of the time it's like incremental progress from what they've set, an A-type goal. It's just maybe 10 or 20% better. Okay. Now, there's not a whole lot of inspiration or motivation in either of those 2 goals. Okay, definitely not in A. And B, there's a little bit. Now, there's not much growth in B either. The thing with the B-type goal, and this is why most people don't achieve their goals, is because whenever the challenge, and there's always challenge, whenever the challenge outweighs the reward, okay, or whenever the risk outweighs the reward, they bounce back off the wall of fear into the comfort zone of doing what they know they can do. They go back to setting their A-type goals because that's comfortable. They've done it. That's their comfort zone. Okay, so a B-type goal is not really going to stretch you. It's not going to really, it's going to make it, there's a higher chance you're not going to achieve your goal, as silly as that sounds, because there will be challenges, and the reward normally does not outweigh the risk. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to come up high where the air is thin. Okay, I want you setting C-type goals. And a C-type goal is going after what you really want. Okay, it's where you get to really stretch yourself. You have absolutely no idea how you're going to do it. No idea. If you know how, you're going in the wrong direction, as Bob says in his lesson. Okay, if you know how, you're going in the wrong direction. So you have to really go inward. It's not looking outside of you to think, what do I want? It's going inward and thinking, okay, what is it that I would really love to spend my days doing? What is it that I really, really want to do? What do I really want to achieve? Okay, and it's going to be something that it's got to both scare you and excite you at the same time. Okay, it scares you because you've never been there. You've never done it. It's so big. It's so out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to, like I said earlier, you're going to have to become, it's who you become along the way that's going to help you get there. So you're going to have to become a different person in a sense. Not that there's anything wrong with you now, okay? But you're going to have to improve yourself, bring the best of yourself to the surface, and all that potential is already in there within you. Okay, the potential is already in there within you, but you have to express it. And the more you can express it, the further you'll go. All right. Now, you don't know how you're going to do it, but you know that you're going to do it. You know that you're going to do it. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to right now create a want list. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if you've already done this before. I want you to sit down and I want you just to think, what is it that I really want? But we've got to think in C-type goals. Okay? You've got no idea how you're going to do it, but this is what you really, really want to achieve. Okay? And sit down and write a list. You might want to write 20 things. I normally suggest 20 things. You might not have time to write 20 today, but start your list of 20 things at least. If you can easily get to 20, then write 30. Okay? So what I want you to do, so we want to go past the surface thought, and we want to go deep. We want to go deep inside to thinking of what is it that you really want. What would you love to spend your days doing? Okay, so have a personal list and a professional list. All right. Now, if you start thinking of how it's going to happen, you're going to limit or destroy the fantasy that you're going to set. So right now, give no conscious attention to how it's going to happen. None at all. Right now, your objective should only be realizing what is that you want, okay, and jotting it down on your notepad. All right. So start your list now, and what I want you to do is just to raise your hand once you're done. I'm going to be doing mine. All right. Okay, so just remember that this is just where you getting to exercise your imagination, okay? So just whatever ideas come to you, just jot them down, okay? Give no attention to how you're going to achieve any of it. Just let yourself be creative. And once again, just put up your hand once you're done. Okay, so some of you might still be going. That's okay. What I'd like you to do, you can put a pause on your list if you want, but what I'd like you to do now is to highlight or circle just one of those things. So look at your list, go over it, and think, okay, which one gets me the most excited? When I was writing it, when you were just imagining, which one really got you the most enthusiastic? Thinking, okay, if I could achieve that, that would just be amazing. Okay. Once again, do not think of how. Okay, that should not concern you at all right now. Just go over your list, highlight or circle the one. Now, I get some questions coming through. Easy. Okay. Circle the one, and then once you've chosen that one, what I want you to do is I want you to write out, like forget about all the rest of them, but write out in more detail that goal having been achieved. So start off your sentence, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then write your goal out and what it looks like when you've achieved that goal. So go into more detail. Okay, I want you to really see what your life and imagine what your life will look like when you've achieved that goal. So both personally and professionally. And the more clear you are, so it's not about being long, but it's about being clear and concise. So if you were to pass a stranger, if you were to hand over your statement to a stranger, they could clearly see in their mind what you're actually, what your goal is. Okay, I'm not suggesting for you to do that, but that's how clear you want it to be. All right, the more clear and concise it is, the better it's going to be. So you don't have to write a whole page. It can be one short paragraph, but the paragraph be illustrated so well that it really paints the picture. Okay, remember we think in pictures. So give that a go, and once again, just raise your hand once you're done. So if your hands are up at the moment, just put them down again, and then raise them up once you're done writing that paragraph out. Okay. All right. Have fun. All right, so you guys can keep writing. There's just a question that's come through from Amy, and it's a really, really good question. She said, what if when one goal enables all the goals? So do you write out that goal? Yes. So you want to make sure that your goals are in alignment, okay? So let's just say if it is a money goal and that enables you to travel or to purchase more material goods, then that is the goal, okay? That does become the goal. It's the money goal. So you write out that you're earning that much money and what your life looks like when you are earning that much money. That's what this description is about. Okay, so this is a more in detail description, and let's just say if it is the money, just jot down, okay, what does it look like when you're earning that much money? Okay, what are you doing differently then to what you're doing now? Okay, that's a really good question. Thanks, Amy. Okay. Some of you still going. That's okay. You might be able to come back to it a bit later, okay? If you can just, guys, if you can just put your hands back down, that way I know when you guys have a question. Okay. A key thing when writing out your goal, especially when you're going to put it onto your goal card, the goal that you put on your goal card, make sure that it's like explained in one clear, concise sentence. Okay, so don't make a whole. It doesn't. The goal card is very, very short and concise. Okay, what you've just done there, that's a longer or more in-depth description of your goal. Okay, and that goal card, what it's going to do, it's going to trigger brain cells. So as you've been writing, what you're doing is you're creating brain cells. Okay, you're creating new brain cells if you haven't thought of these ideas before. Right, and as you're creating these brain cells, the more you think about your goal card or your goal, or the more you actually you read it and rewrite it, you're actually giving energy to those brain cells. You're activating them. Okay, you're activating those brain cells, and when you're activating those brain cells, they're obviously vibrating, and those brain cells put you in a certain vibration. Okay, and when you're in that certain vibration, you start attracting people, conditions, circumstances, the thoughts, the ideas that will help you to attain that goal. Okay, the key thing is to keep thinking about it. Now, I always say that, I always put at the end of my goal that I am happy, healthy, and wealthy. Okay, it is so, and then I say thank you. Now, the reason why I do that is because I want to have success in all areas of my life, and the more that I affirm that I am happy, healthy, and wealthy, then I know that all areas of my life, when I say that, I see all areas of my life being successful. Okay, so that might be something that you might want to adopt. Now, understand when you're creating this goal, this dream, okay, it's your dream. It's nobody else's. You don't go asking your spouse, your neighbor, you don't go asking any of your family members. This is your dream. Don't go looking outside, okay? And this dream will be invisible to all the world except for the person who holds it. Now, when you start working towards this, you start seeing yourself differently, okay? Because you're seeing yourself having attained this goal. You see yourself working towards this goal. You're going to start thinking differently, feeling a bit differently, and behaving differently. But the outside world, you know, the people that knew you before, that know you, they don't see what's going on inside here. So they're going to be like, oh, hang on, so what's going on here? Like, why are you acting so differently? Why are you speaking so differently? What's going on? So they cannot see what you can see. And even when you start to articulate what you see and stuff, they're still not going to see it as clearly as you. Okay? So don't always expect their support. Like, you can probably should try and expect their support, but you're not always going to get it. It'd be just as uncomfortable as it is for you to work towards that, it's actually uncomfortable for the people around you to see you progressing. Okay? So just keep this in mind, that it's your dream. You don't need the approval of anyone else. Okay? You should never seek the approval of anyone else when you're going after what you want. All right. Good. Good. I'm glad you like that, Paula. All right. Now, what you have to do is when you've gone through your shopping list, your wants, you created your wants, and you highlighted the goal that you really want, and you've written out your description, you still have to make a decision. Okay? You have to make a decision that you're going to go after this goal, that it's worth sacrificing your life for. Okay? Essentially, that's what it is. You're actually giving something up, okay, to go after what you want. Now, I've read somewhere, and it's so true, that our lives are always full. Okay, everybody's life is full, all the time. So in order for you to go after something new, you have to let go of something that you're currently doing. The key thing is, what are you going to let go of? What do you have to let go of to attain what it is that you want? Okay, that's sacrifice. Sacrifice is letting go of something of a lower nature for something of a high nature. Okay, letting go of something good for something great. Now, only you can make this decision. No one else can make it for you. Okay. Now, what I've found, decision making is not something that we're being taught at school. Okay. In fact, I was a horrible decision maker when I first got into thinking results. I remember very clearly, Nat and I were sitting at a cafe, and I was looking over the menu, and I thought, I don't know what I want. And I said, Nat, what are you going to have for lunch? And she said, I'm going to have this and this. And I said, oh, that sounds really good. I'll have the same. And I just stopped and I was like, whoa, hang on a sec. I actually asked someone else's opinion what they were doing. I let that influence my thinking and my decision making, and I'm just doing whatever they're doing without actually really going in and thinking, what is it that I really want? Now, silly example, but it's a perfect example, because that's the way most people make decisions in all areas of life. And I realized in that moment that if I'm doing that with such simple decisions like what I'm having off a menu, then I'm also doing that in other areas of my life. Okay, so I made a decision at that point that I was never going to ask someone else what they were having on the menu. Okay, I was always going to try and build my decision-making skills by just scanning the menu once and thinking, okay, what's the most appealing thing on there for me, and I'll make a decision. Okay, so if you're not good at making decisions, that might be a good place for you to start. But you just start with small ones, small decisions, and then as you exercise in that decision-making muscle, you can make bigger decisions for yourself. Now, there is an article at the back of lesson 1, the decision article. I recently, so earlier this year, I spent about 6 weeks, maybe just a touch longer, 6 weeks, reading that every single day. Now, I didn't just read it, I studied it. I underlined, I highlighted what I need to highlight. That is a really fantastic article for you to really digest. So I highly recommend, if you're doing lesson 1, to read the decision article every single day. Okay? Don't just scan it. Really, okay, this is how you should be studying. This is a really good point. Bob has taught me to do this when I study. Before I read anything, or watch anything, or listen to anything, I'll sit down and I'll write my goal down. Okay, at the top of a page. Okay, so just like this. Just sit down, write the goal, and then everything that I'm reading, listening, or watching, I'm always relating it to me and my goal. I'm not relating to anyone else. I'm relating to me and my goal, and that is really, right from the get-go, that's setting your mind thinking of how you can do it, how you can achieve it. Okay, it's allowing the way to come to you. So as you're reading the decision article, once again, relate everything to yourself and analyze. Okay, am I thinking this way? Do I think like this person thinks that's right in the article? So Bob wrote the article, and he's obviously expressing how he thinks, okay, and how he makes decisions. And it's a really, really powerful article, so I highly recommend that. You have to make a decision on what it is that you want, what your fantasy is, and make a decision that you're going to go after it. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take, the time is going to pass by anyway. Okay, the time will pass by anyway, so you might as well start working towards it, but you have to make a decision. Now, we become what we think about. There you go, that's what I was just speaking about. We become what we think about. Now, Earl Nightingale is really famous for saying this, okay, and it's really, really true. Now, when you decide upon your worthy goal, okay, you need to realize that you have to start thinking like that person who has achieved their goal. So right now, you are a sum, essentially you are the sum of all your past thinking right now in this moment. Okay, you're a sum of all your past thinking, the inner conversations you have with yourself, etc. Okay, so in order for you to get from where you are to where you want to go, you need to start changing your thinking, and that's essentially why this program is called Thinking Results. It's going to help you to achieve that. Okay, so as we go throughout the lessons, we want to really focus on being really honest with yourself as to what is your current thinking. How do you think about yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you think about you achieving your goal? Okay, and I really love this quote by Neville Goddard. He says, "Inner talking is the beginning, the sowing of the seeds of future action." Okay, to determine the action, you must consciously initiate and control your inner talking. Consciously. Okay, this is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. You have to really develop your willpower for this, and be aware of what's going on. But this is what I want you to, I'm trying to raise your awareness right now by even telling you that we become what we think about. This is something that you want to possibly type up, make a poster or something on your wall or in your office or something you can see often. We become what we think about. So what do I think about most often? Okay, what do you think about most of the time? Even think of the last hour. What have you been thinking about most of the time? Have you been thinking about your worthy goal? Have you been thinking about you having achieved your goal? Okay, now something that I think it was Nat maybe suggested it, and I thought it was a great idea. It was just the other day. She said, you know, it'd be good to set a timer on your phone, so with an alarm, and on the alarm it says, you know, what have I been thinking about for the last hour? Okay, and if that alarm is going off every hour, reminding you to, you know, to just to become aware of what you were thinking about, by the end of one day, I can guarantee you, you're going to be thinking a lot more about your goal. Okay, you're going to be thinking a lot more about your goal, and you train yourself to do that over a period of time, and it becomes more habitual and it becomes easier. Okay, it takes no conscious effort. Okay, no conscious effort to think in a negative terms, but it takes a lot of conscious effort to think in positive terms. Okay, you need to retrain your mind. You need to recondition it to think in positive terms, and that exercise that I just gave you will help you with that. Okay, you having achieved your goal is positive terms. Now, Andrew Carnegie has a quote, and he says, you know what, I'm not going to paraphrase it, I'm actually going to read it because I've got it here somewhere close by. He says, any idea held in the mind that is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form available. Okay, that is a really powerful quote, and he said this to Napoleon Hill. Okay, I'll read it again. Any idea held in the mind that is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available, physical form available. So if you're worried about something happening, okay, if something really worrying you, okay, that essentially becomes your goal. It's really powerful. If you're worried about something, if something negative is consuming you, to your mind, that is the goal. Your mind will start working towards the achievement of that. You are a goal-seeking, your mind is like a goal-seeking mechanism, okay, organism. That's what you are. You're a goal-seeking organism. You're constantly working towards something, whether it's something you like or you don't like, okay? Something you like or you don't like. Whatever is held in the mind, is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin at once, okay? This will happen at once, instantly and automatically. So you'll see the power of doing this exercise that Matt suggested, which I think is a brilliant exercise, of consciously setting this alarm, so to consciously think about your goal as often as possible. You know, and this is why we have the goal card. Something cool that I've done with my goal card just in the last couple of months is I've actually I printed out some, I put pictures on them. So we think in pictures. So I've put a picture of the car that I want on one side, and I've got a picture of me having achieved my goal on the other side. And I've got the short sentence, which is my goal, on that side. Okay, and that whenever I touch my goal card, it triggers the brain cells. Whenever I look at it or put it on my desk, you know, quite often when I'm working, I will have it on my desk. It gets me thinking about it. Okay, we want to think about it as often as possible. I will highly recommend writing your goal as often as possible as you can throughout the day. Just a short description, as often as you can. First thing in the morning, definitely think about it. You might even say it out loud. Okay, you know, you might want to do it after lunch, whenever you can. Whenever you get an opportunity, just write it. Okay, and then before you go to bed at night, I would look into your eyes in the mirror. Okay, and I would say it out loud. Say your goal, and at this time, say the longer description. Okay, say the longer description, and as you're looking into your eyes, you're actually talking and speaking straight to your subconscious mind. Okay, and the more emotional words you add to your description, you're speaking the language of the subconscious mind. It speaks emotional words. Okay, so when maybe you might use words like, I love doing something, or I'm so happy and grateful now that whatever, I've taken a massive quantum leap. Like, that's an emotional word, massive, right? So use as many emotional words as you can and make sure that it feels good. Okay, maybe using words like, you're so proud of yourself, and feel that pride. Okay, this is really, really important. Now, will you do it? That's up to you. Okay, now there's two questions that you must ask yourself once you've created the fantasy, because right now you're creating the fantasy. All right, but we want to make the fantasy a goal, and there's two questions you got to ask yourself. The first one is, am I able? Am I able to achieve this? Now, as Bob says in the lesson, that should be a definite yes coming from you. A definite yes. You are, okay, you and I, we are the highest form of creation on the planet. Highest. Okay, we have been blessed with creative abilities. All right, these mental faculties that we have that allow us to create the environment that we want for ourselves. Okay, you are able to do whatever it is that you want. Okay, within the laws of nature. Okay, within the laws of nature, you're able physically, if you can hold it in your mind, you can see it, you can hold it in your hands, essentially. All right. Now, Napoleon Hill said, "You will not seriously want something you are not capable of achieving." Okay, you will not seriously want something that you're not capable of achieving. So you are definitely able. I'm telling you, even if you don't think so, you're definitely able. All right, and you're going to start believing in yourself as we go through the program. Now, the second question is, am I willing? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to make the sacrifices in order for you to live the life that you really want to live? Now think about that. That should be a definite yes as well, because you're going to give up something of a lower nature for something of a high nature. Are you willing to trade your life in order, your current life, to live the life that you really want? Think about it that way. That should be a definite yes as well. Okay. Now, I love what H.L. Hunt said. He said, achieving success is not difficult. Okay, there are simple steps to follow. First of all, decide what you want. Secondly, decide what you're prepared to give up to get it. Okay, decide what you're prepared to give up to get it. So you got to think, okay, what do I have to stop, let go of that I'm currently doing to allow me to get to allow me to do what I really want to do. Okay, what am I willing to sacrifice? Okay, now here's another thing that you have to really become aware of. It's your belief system. Okay, and beliefs is spoken about quite a bit in this lesson. Okay, and we also have a lesson further on in the program where we're going to really get into your belief system. All right, but this is something you really want to know. There is no growth beyond the beliefs that you're currently holding. Okay, if a person attempts to accomplish something beyond their level of belief, your mind will quickly and automatically create ideas or reasons justifying why it can't be done. Okay, and those ideas are going to continue to flow until your goal or your dream is abandoned. Okay, really, really powerful that. Really powerful. Now, when a person believes something can be done, the mind will automatically begin creating ideas that will pave the path to its accomplishment. Now, your paradigm will literally con you. It will try and throw so many ideas at you as to why you can't do what you want to do. So many. It would be ridiculous. Okay? You have to literally tell them to piss off. You have to tell those thoughts to get out of your head. Okay? You can shout it if you want. Right? People might think you're crazy, but you cannot listen to that old conditioning, because you know what? They are not your ideas. That's not even you thinking that. The beliefs that we hold, okay, this is what happens. Your beliefs are passed down, genetically. So you get 50% of mum's DNA, 50% of dad's DNA. That makes you who you are. That is who you are today. Okay, your certain characteristics like your parents, you look similar to your parents, similar beliefs, etc. Okay, that is part of your DNA. Now, the environment that you've grown up in and been a part of up until today, that has also formulated your belief system. Okay, it's accumulation of all these ideas that you see and believe as true. You believe them to be true. That's all it is. It's your belief. Now, that is correct for you. The belief, something you believe, will always seem correct until you start re-evaluating it. Okay, and that's what I want you to do. If you've got any beliefs that are in the way, we want to re-evaluate them. So this is what we're going to do right now. Okay, what do you really believe you can achieve? Okay, what do you really believe you can achieve? If you're observant, okay, if you're really observant and you're really honest with yourself, you're going to see that everything in your physical world currently is a manifestation of what you subconsciously believe to be true. Not consciously, but subconsciously believe to be true. Everything is a manifestation of what you subconsciously believe to be true. So once you start, that it's not necessarily a bad thing, because some things will be really good. Okay, some beliefs will be really good, and they're enabling you to enjoy life the way you're enjoying it. But some beliefs are not serving you, okay, and they are not allowing you to live the life that you really want to live, to continue growing and become the person you want to become. Okay, so when you want to, what you want to do is you want to really identify two, right now, just for now, two of the biggest beliefs which have kept you where you are today, or got you to the point where you are today. Okay, just really think about it, spend just a couple of minutes and just jot down two of the biggest beliefs that you're aware of right now, because there'll be millions of beliefs, okay? But just two that are the biggest ones right now that come to your mind. If you were to change those beliefs and create new beliefs, which ones would you want to change? Spend a minute to write that down. And just put up your hand once you're done. Sorry, I haven't got any music on. Last time I put music on a webinar, it was banned. I wasn't allowed to put it on YouTube. So maybe you got music in your own background. All right, we'll keep going. Okay. Now, this is the creative process. Okay, so you've built the fantasy. Okay, you've created the fantasy, and that's the goal that you've just created. You've answered the two questions: am I able and am I willing? Okay, and you have to say it has to be a definite yes before you turn it from a fantasy to a goal. Okay, you have to have a definite yes for both of them. Now, You must believe that you are able and willing to turn your theory into a goal. You must believe that you're able to do it. Now, if you don't believe, we're going to use the program to help you to get that belief on a subconscious level. All right, and we can do that. We have tools for that. That's fine. Now, the instant your fantasy becomes a goal, it begins moving into physical form with and through you. Okay, the instant you make that decision, your fantasy becomes a goal, and it starts moving into physical form with and through you. Now, do not rely on your 5 senses to tell you whether that's happening or not. You cannot rely on your 5 senses to tell you whether it's happening or not. You have to rely on your inner eye, the inner eye of understanding, okay, your higher faculties. You got to start living and training your mind to live from the inside out. All our results are a direct reflection of what's going on inside of us. And until we change the inside, the outside doesn't change. So what you're doing right now in this process is you're working on changing the inside. And once the inside, the new thoughts become dominant, okay, they'll change the way you feel on a more permanent basis. It's going to change the way you're behaving, okay? And for every action, there's always an equal and opposite reaction. So when your actions are lining up with the person that you want to become on a more consistent basis, you're going to be attracting to people, conditions, circumstances, opportunities, the ideas, everything that are going to help you get to achieve your goal. It is all moving into form, but do not rely on your physical 5 senses to tell you whether it's happening or not. It is happening. Okay, it happens by law every single time. Everything moves from a non-physical state to a physical state. Think about this iPhone. This was a fantasy for one person, maybe a group of people, but initially it was a fantasy of it was an idea in someone's mind. Okay, and it doesn't matter who it was, whose idea it was, what their capabilities were, nothing matters. It was just an idea. Okay, it was non-physical. But get this, everything that was needed to create the iPhone was already here. It was already here on the planet. It was, whether it was here physically or non-physically, it was here. Okay, they moved an idea from non-physical or a fantasy into physical form, and now we all benefit from it. Okay, that's the same as anything. A pen, these earphones, my computer that I'm working on, all began in a fantasy. Okay, and someone said, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen, and they turned their theory or their fantasy into a goal. Now, like I said, you have to refuse to let outside conditions and circumstances dictate how you're going to live. Do not allow it to. All right. As you get more emotionally involved, okay, as you get more emotionally involved in the goal, okay, the end result, that emotional involvement is going to change your behavior. Okay, and as your behavior changes, the results start to change, and your theory then turns into a fact. Okay, the theory turns into a fact. And when you've achieved that goal, okay, it's now in your physical form, it's in physical form, it's part of your life, you're that person now, then you have the ability to have a high level of awareness, okay, you can go on to create bigger and better fantasies, okay, you just restart the creative process. This simple chart here literally tells you how absolutely everything is created, all results, good or bad, okay. All results are created this exact same way. And this is why Bob Proctor very confidently says, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. Because it happens by law every time for every person in the exact same way, non-physically. Okay? Happens this way. Now, there is an exercise in your program guide towards the end of it, which is this creative thought exercise for improved results. Now it says, find a quiet place where you can be alone and completely relax. Okay, so being completely relaxed is going to be vital to your success. You want to become as relaxed as you can as often as possible. Okay, the more tense you are, the energy is not flowing through you as freely. Okay, because there's constantly energy flowing to and through you. The more relaxed you are, you're going to get better ideas, you're going to think more clearly. So, you know, when you go on holidays, you get some good ideas. Well, I do anyway. Okay, when you go on holidays and you're in a more relaxed environment, you feel better. and you're thinking more clearly, etc. Okay, you want to be like that all the time, holiday mode. Okay, now get emotionally involved with the idea of being totally relaxed. Let your body become very light and your mind free-flowing. When you feel clear and free, allow an image to form on the screen of your mind of already having achieved your goal. Okay, if you have to read your statement out loud, read it. If you have to record your goal statement on Voice Loop, okay, so Voice Loop is an app, just download it. I think it's, I actually don't know if it costs anything. It may cost something. Download Voice Loop and just record your goal on there, and your goal will just keep playing over and over again. Okay, you can listen to yourself, you can close your eyes, you can listen to the goal being achieved, okay, yourself saying it, and see it and feel it. Okay, feel the pride that flows through you in having achieved what you wish to accomplish. Okay, what you set out to accomplish. Okay, and you can go on to write, once the picture is clear, you can write out a more detailed description. Okay, if you want to add more detail to it. Now, every time you write your goal out, you might add more detail. Or you might think, okay, well, I don't really want this to be in there anymore. I'm going to include this in there, whatever it is. Okay. But the more clear you get, the better it is for you. Now, I'm just going to quickly run over some key points. A goal is something you're going to go after that you've never done before. Okay? A goal is designed to help you grow. It causes you to draw something out from inside yourself that you didn't even know was there. Oops. If you know how to reach your goal, the goal is not going to do for you what goals are designed to do. Now, the truth is you can be, do, and have anything you seriously want. However, there is one prerequisite. You must really want it. Okay, you must really want it. You must be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. Now, if you're really going to accomplish something, you're going to need to be inspired by going after something that you really want. It's going to have to come from inside. And as I was telling you earlier, don't look outside. Don't ask for other people's opinions. Okay? Now, this is a point where you really begin to exercise your imagination. Your imagination, so your body is a physical manifestation of what's going on in the mind. Okay? If you were to want to build up your physical muscles, like your biceps or whatever, your triceps, you go and exercise them. Okay? And the more you exercise them, you do repetitions, the stronger they get. It's exactly the same with your mental faculties, and one of them being your imagination. The more you exercise your imagination, the stronger it gets, the more clear your vision gets, okay? Now, if you want to live and enjoy a fulfilled life, this is something that you must do, okay? Exercise your imagination. And you want to really think outside of your mental boundaries. Start thinking outside of your mental boundaries. Still stretching yourself and questioning what you think you can do. And ask yourself, why do I think I can't achieve that? Okay, start challenging those beliefs. Now, there is no such thing as something for nothing. You must create space for the good that you desire. Your life is full at all times. What is it full of? Okay, that's the question. What is it full of? And what are you willing to sacrifice in order to achieve what it is that you want? Now, we become what we think about. What do you think about most of the time? Okay, don't forget that. You are, at this moment, the sum total of all your dominant thoughts to this point. Okay, decide upon your goal and think about it as often as possible throughout the day. This is going to be vital to your success. Okay, and this is Andrew Carnegie's quote where he says, "Any idea held in the mind that is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form available." Okay, thinking of how it happened is going to limit or destroy your fantasy. Do not give any conscious thought to that right now. Okay, how your goal is going to manifest is not your responsibility. However, what you want to manifest certainly is. Okay, you're just going to make decisions. Now, in regards to these questions, I think they're very pretty straightforward. Let me just try and get out of it. Here we go. All right. So I think I quite often find people can get stuck on these first belief set of questions, the 4 of them here. Do I have good sound reasons for my beliefs? All right, so just, it's not a trick question. Just ask yourself, you know, before you even answer it, you might want to write down what some of your beliefs are. Okay, write down a list of your beliefs and think, okay, Now, do I have good sound reasons for these beliefs as to why I can't achieve my goal? And just analyze them. Now, the chances are you don't have good sound reasons for your beliefs. The beliefs have been passed on to you and you've accepted them. Okay, so where do my beliefs come from? From other people. Most of the things you think have come from other people. Okay, would changing my beliefs improve my life? Well, you can answer that. And how do I change my beliefs? Okay, how do I change my beliefs? Well, if you look just down here, it says, right, yeah, our beliefs are based on our evaluations of something. Frequently, when we reevaluate a situation, our belief about the situation will change. Okay, so you've got to keep reevaluating the belief. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to start affirming the new belief. Okay, you want to start affirming the new belief and really accept the idea. Once you can accept the new belief, accept the idea on an emotional level, the old belief will start dying with lack of nourishment. Okay. Now, in regards to some of the other questions within the program, this lesson, sorry. Okay, so basically, if someone was to stop you on the street and ask you what your goal was, how would you respond, and do you have goals, and are they written down? Okay. Now, the second question is pretty much what we've done in this webinar. You're writing out a list of what you personally want. Okay, just write your shopping list. Doesn't matter if you do this, you got to do this every day, and you're going to get more clear about it. Then you go through your professional wants. Okay. And then you select one in each of those lists, personal and professional, that you really want to go after. Okay, that you're going to make a decision that you're going to go after this. This is the goal that I'm going after. Now, one other tip about your goal when you're creating it, set the timeline for something that's within no more than 12 months, I believe, no more than 12 months. And the reason why I say that is because we do 20% of the work, we do 80% of the work in the last 20% of the time, just generally speaking. So if your goal is a massive goal and it's in 12 months, you want to achieve it within 12 months, then there's a high chance you're going to start working towards it sooner rather than later. And it's going to eliminate that procrastination that most people have, which prevents them from ever reaching their goals. It just merely stays an idea forever, okay? And they die with those ideas, unfortunately. Okay, so you're picking one of each list, personal want, professional want. Now, as you did today on this webinar, write out a detailed description of your personal want and then a detailed description of your professional want. Now, you might just want to tie them together, make them one description. That's okay too. Okay, that's what I do. I make them one description. Sorry. And then question 5 is really basically asking yourself, am I able, am I willing, and writing a goal onto the goal card. All right. If you all receive a goal card when you first start up. If you've already used up your goal card and you want more, please let me know. We have templates that you can print out, and you might want to create something like this. Okay, where you put your own picture on there, and you can use the template to put your own pictures on there and print out what you want. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm actually, last night I created 3 different goal cards, all got the same goal in there, but just different pictures, and I put them in different pockets. So it doesn't matter what hand I put my pocket in, I'm going to be thinking about my goal. All right. The 6th question is very simple. How do you feel after setting those goals? Now, question 7 is really important. Okay, do not skip over it. So in the space provided, write 6 action steps you can take right now to move you towards your personal or professional goal. Okay, 6 action steps that are going to move you towards your goal. And what I would suggest getting in the habit of doing is at night time, or when you're finishing up your work day, you think, okay, where did you analyze how you went for the day, and write up a list of 6 things that you can do tomorrow to help you move towards your goal. Now, understand that you don't have to get the whole list completed. You don't. You list them from most important to least important, okay, and you focus on the most important one first. And until you complete that successfully, you do not think about or move on to anything else on the list. Now, a successful life is made up of successful days. Okay, and a successful day is made up of successful activities. So you just have to do everything you do in a successful way. Put all your heart into it. Okay, and when you form the habit of doing everything you do successfully, you're going to live a successful life. All right. Now, let's wrap it up. You don't need to do the team worksheet unless you're working in a team. Okay, so don't think about doing that. That's fine. And like I said earlier, highly recommend reading this decision article. Okay, there you go. There's H.L. Hunt's quote down there. Okay, and this is another great quote actually. Go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll see how you can go farther. Okay. All right. Let's get back in here and wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can put up your hand. I can unmute you. You know, or you can just type in the chat box and I can quickly answer them if you're really quick at typing. Okay. And just remember, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Okay? You can do it. Believe in yourself. Like I said earlier, you're the highest form of creation on the planet that we're aware of anyway. Okay? You're creative. Everyone is creative. You can really create the life you want. And all you really need to start off with is a pen. I'd suggest getting a good pen and a notebook or in a piece of paper, and to think about what you really want. Okay? And this is what most people shy away from, thinking. Now this very lesson, lesson 1, I found the very first time I did it, I found it quite difficult to do this. I spent a whole month, I spent 4 weeks on lesson 1 because I also locked up with limitation. So if you're experiencing that, or if you do experience that, that's normal, it's okay. Keep working through it. And let us know, let Nat know, let myself know, and we can help you through to help you really, you know, pick it up a bit. There's a question come through. Good on you, Vicky. It was really nice to see you on. It's perfect. It was really good. Good on you. We've got to catch up for a chat whenever you're ready. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. I loved having you on. I loved teaching this lesson. It was a little bit different. We didn't play the audios anymore, so hopefully I got a lot more value out of it. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next call. See you next week. Take care.